edition of There's an App for That, the Explain Everything remix. You've probably been having your students use Explain Everything to show what they know. Perhaps they're using the interactive whiteboard features to write some text down, to upload some images, or record some audio. Mostly in this case, we've had students do the creating. In today's remix, we're going to show you how you can create templates that you can deliver to your students that they can then interact with and complete and return to you via Schoology. For example, let's say we wanted our students to do a list group label. You certainly could cut out all the words, put them on a table, and have your kids manipulate them. Either way works. But if we wanted to do it in an interactive sense, or for maybe a student that wasn't in class that day, we can make an Explain Everything template. Here are my 5 words that I want my students to put into some sort of groups and give a label. These 5 words are interactive, which means students can move them around and they can create lists with these words. So let's say a student talked about it, they discussed it, they've now created 3 different groups. Once they've created their group, I can have a student give that group a label. So let's say these are all words that have to do with plants. I can put that in there and move it around. These are all words that have to do with animals. Again, I can put that in there and move it around. Essentially, I can give all of my different groups a label. I could also have students perhaps add images if I felt like that was necessary to the task at hand. I could have them perhaps record some sort of audio. So if I wanted them to explain their thinking, I could ask them to go to the bottom, record audio, and let me know how they came to the conclusion about that list group label. So that's just one way to use Explain Everything templates to make them more interactive rather than just a standard slideshow. So let's just go ahead and go back and show you how to create this template. I'm going to go ahead and tap on the plus sign in the upper left-hand corner here to create a new template. Once I'm in my new template, let's say I wanted students to demonstrate the life cycle of a butterfly. And I have some images that I have taken off of Google, and I'm going to upload those into my template. So I'm going to do that by clicking on this plus sign over here and click existing photo or video, and it will take me right to my camera roll. And as you can see, I have 4 pictures that have to do with the life cycle of a butterfly. I'm going to tap on one, it's going to upload it, it's going to allow me to edit it if need be, but it's good, so I'm going to put it on my template, and then I'm just going to add the other 4 images real quick. I got these images simply by going to Google and taking some screenshots of some images of the life cycle of a butterfly. You can do this in whatever way you want. You might already have images on your computer. You can draw some images and take pictures of those, whatever works for you. So let's just move these around a little bit so they're in kind of a random order, because the goal is really that we want students to go in, manipulate this life cycle, and put it in the correct order. I could give this to students as is, but of course I probably want to put some directions attached to it. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on the A here, and I might first of all give this a title. We might just say life cycle of a butterfly. Okay, so that's the first thing I want my students to see, is that here's the title, here's the task, what they're going to be completing. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this some directions. So my directions might say something like, oops, there we go. Perhaps it's going to say move the objects, or arrange, let's say arrange the objects to demonstrate the life cycle of a butterfly. I could also add additional directions if I wanted to. That said something such as, I don't know, use the record feature to explain your choices, or make sure you include arrows to highlight or demonstrate your choices, whatever you want students to be able to do. So at this point, everything on our page is interactive. And we certainly don't want kids to be able to manipulate this top part. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock those in place. So if I go ahead and I click on the I over here in this left-hand navigation, it's going to allow me to do a couple things. I can arrange stuff into groups, I can do some editing, and I can also lock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on where it says life cycle of a butterfly. I'm going to tap on the word lock here, and it'll bring me to a new screen and will ask me how I want to lock it. And basically, I just want to lock it in place. So by that, it means if I tap out of here, And you can't see this obviously on your screen, but now I can't move that part around. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the directions. I want them locked in place. And now basically my directions and my title are locked in place, but I still have the ability to manipulate the images, which is exactly what I want my students to do. So now that I've got this template created, and I can do several things. I can go down to the bottom, I can create new slides if I want to. So I could duplicate this template and put some other things on here, life cycle of a plant. I could just ask them to simply write a sentence or write a summary of what they learned. I could ask them to find their own images about life cycle of a plant. I could really go on and ask them to do a bunch of other things with this template. But let's say we've got the basic components done and this is all we want our students to do. Now we need to get this somewhere where it's accessible to our students. And honestly, the best place to do that is within Schoology. We can upload a template right into our Schoology resources and then put it directly into our course so our students can access it whenever they are ready to. Now I can really truthfully tap on either one of these buttons at the bottom, but I'm going to tap on the second one here. It's going to ask me to export this movie, and I'm going to tap on the word more. Once I've tapped on the word more, you're going to see I get a couple of options at the top. I want to make sure that this is a project. A video file will allow you to only export the Explain Everything as a video, which means students can only watch something. They will have no ability to interact with it. The same goes for a PDF or an image file. It will just show up as an image that a student can see, but they can in fact manipulate it. So if you want it to be something that's interactive, make sure you tap on the word project. Once I've done that, I'm going to go down to the bottom right-hand corner and I'm going to again tap on the word more, and it's going to ask me what I want to open it in. What I want to tap is where it says XBL Open In, which just means Explain Everything file. So I'm going to tap that, and it's going to ask me to give the project a name. We're just going to call this Butterfly Template. You can name it whatever works for you. Click on the word Save. And then it's going to give me some options of where I want to open it. Because I don't see Schoology, I'm just going to tap the word right here that says Open In. And it will pop up several options. And I'm going to tap on the word Schoology. And it will automatically open the Schoology app. Now let's keep in mind, you have to have the Schoology app open, or not, I'm sorry, not open. You have to have the Schoology app downloaded on your iPad, and you also need to be logged into it. But if you do that, it will take you right there. Then it's going to give me three options. I can submit this to an assignment. Well, I'm not completing an assignment. I'm not giving it to a particular student. I want to just add it to my resources. When I tap Add it to my resources, I've created a bunch of folders in my resources, so I can put it wherever I want to. I'm just going to put it in my home folder. And again, I can put it in another folder if I want to, and then just tap the word Upload. And you will see that my template has been uploaded. It says my file has been saved. So as we know, we did all of that through the app. And Explain Everything, creation in Schoology is really done for a teacher using the MacBook or the laptop. So I'm going to go ahead now and go into my Schoology course. So I'm in Schoology, and now I've gotten out of my iPad. I'm now on my laptop. It seems like a lot of steps, but really once you get it in there, it's quite easy for your students to use. Let's say I want to put this Explain Everything template in a course. I'm just going to tap on my resources and click Personal, and you will see this will bring me to the same set of folders I saw when I was uploading on my iPad app. I'm going to just scroll down because it always goes to the bottom, and you can see I have Butterfly Template. I click on the cog on the right-hand side of the screen and simply click Add to Course. From there, it'll pull up the list of all the courses I am enrolled in Schoology, or I am an admin for, and I can go ahead and I'm going to click English Section 1, and it will ask me, do I want to put this into a folder, or do I want to put this somewhere else? I'm not going to put it anywhere for right now. I'm just going to leave it in None, but if you already had folders created within your Schoology course, such as a science folder or a life cycles folder, you could just move it right there, and then your students will be able to access it. So let me go ahead and click Add, and it says the template was added. So if I go into that course, I should be able to see then that now my students have a Butterfly Template and Explain Everything file. So now that my my template is there, I can go ahead and I can have my students log into my course, they can open up the template and they can complete it. You might wonder, what do students do with it once they're finished? You can have students do one of two things. You can have students upload it to an assignment. So I would just go ahead and maybe I would create an assignment here that's called, well, I could say upload Schoology template or upload Butterfly template. And I would just create that, and the students would have an option to upload their template when they're finished. I could also have them upload it to a Schoology discussion, whichever I prefer. Schoology discussion allows all students to see that work. Assignment allows only me as the teacher to see the work. So then students will just simply click on the template, they'll complete the work, and they will follow the same steps you did to go ahead and put that back into Schoology. If you don't want them to put it back in Schoology, it can be something that lives in their Explain Everything on their iPad, and you can simply view it when you have time to connect with your students. If you have any questions or need any help about how you might use Explain Everything templates in your classroom, or maybe you want some ideas of how you might use them in your classroom, feel free to contact your iLearn specialist.